All right. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. We are back with another episode just to kind of talk about things that we've noticed within the office lately. And I think most people would agree that this is probably the most mentally stressful time of year. Holidays are coming up, lots of kind of year-end close stuff happening, whether it's home life, work life, but just the ever-ending chaos of schedules, meeting with family, doing a whole bunch of stuff that you are just maybe not used to doing. And kind of navigating the balance, how things can both feel really good and exciting and you're really excited to go do it, but also at the same time maybe feeling some heaviness, some stress with all the stuff that comes with the holidays. So we just kind of wanted to talk about what that looks like in real life and how, maybe more importantly, that's translating into your physical health and what we can do to kind of curb some of that as we navigate the holiday season.
Yeah, and stress wise, we just got hit with a little bit of that yesterday. If any of the family is listening to this, we have like a white elephant with Nicole's family. So here in 2 days, we're having an exchange, and the theme was hats. And we were sitting on the couch last night after we put Pax to bed and everything, and immediately came to the realization we had not bought a darn thing for that. So shout out to Nicole's sister Carly, who was like, I can hook you guys up. And she's out grabbing us some hats so we can be a contributing member of this family event. So, yes, the stress absolutely pops up around the holidays, change of flow, change of requirements, change of tasks and duties. And it's being able to roll with the punches, if you will.
Yeah, and I feel like with that, things that I've seen in patients as they come into the office is probably not what you would expect. I feel like a lot of patients have been complaining of their digestion being off,
Mhm.
not sleeping well, just discomfort where they don't usually get it, like whether it be shoulders, lower back, headaches, feeling run down. These are all signs from your body that you're experiencing stress, that your body's just asking for a little bit of help to help navigate that.
And I would say to touch on the digestion aspect, this is directly correlated with what I'm sure you're going to go down the rabbit hole on the nervous system component. So, the parasympathetic nervous system is what's going to be able to allow the body to relax. And that's what the body needs to be in to actually be able to digest and process the food that we're consuming. When we get super stressed out, the sympathetic system takes over and the body is go, go, go. Digestion takes a back seat. This is exactly what happens when we're exercising and moving as well. The reason why you're not going to see many individuals consuming a full Thanksgiving meal right before they go out to exercise or compete or anything like that is because you don't want that food sitting in your stomach when you're about to go work out. Because the adrenaline's pumping, the blood is flowing and being prioritized to the muscles and away from the stomach. So that digestion is just going to slow down. And when we have food just sitting in their stomach, it's going to cause a little bit of fermentation. It's going to cause a couple bubbles to start to build up. So we may be a little bit more gassy. The family members are going to love that one at the table sitting beside you. We may get a little bit more bloating and distension. That's going to be a little bit more uncomfortable, resulting in even more of that feeling of like, I need to unbutton that top button of the pants. I'm just going to go sit down and watch football type of a thing. So it's all absolutely correlated. And when we throw in the added component of stress, it's just going to accent that and augment that even more.
Yeah, and I think something that I see a lot, and this is really common in females, but males experience this too, and they just often don't talk about this, is kind of that alternation between constipation and diarrhea. And so when our digestion actually slows down to this point, because we're living in such a sympathetic state and stress, just like the mental stress of the holidays, pushes us more sympathetic, our digestion slows. So the way things are moving through our gut slows down. And at some point, you are eating enough food that your body goes, crap, we're out of room. Like, we have to push things out because we don't have more space to like keep it in our stomach for much longer. And so you get diarrhea and you're like, I didn't feel sick. Where did this come from? And you get like cramping, and it's kind of relieved by going to the bathroom because your body just like pushes it out. It's liquidy, that your body's not absorbing it. Then you'll be like, I was fine. I didn't go to the bathroom for 3 or 4 days. And you kind of get that constipation because your body again slows back down. And then this cycle just kind of continues until we can kind of regain that balance of that parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system, which is just really, a lot of people don't know that this has to do with a stress response in your body. And I will say this also, it can happen anytime here. That like this is not exclusive to the holidays. A lot of people will get this and they'll be like, oh, it's because I'm eating more pie and I'm eating more sugar and things that I'm not used to eating.
It'll
Well,
get you.
yes, that might be true. Yeah, and you're exposing your body to things that are different in terms of digestion. Oftentimes we find that root problem of this is coming from your body's inability to balance out your sympathetic or the stressed out part of your nervous system and the parasympathetic, that rest and digest part of your nervous system. So one of the biggest things that we could tell you to do is just focus on creating more balance through your way your body's processing stress. So that could be meditating, it could be resting or sleeping, it could be getting adjusted, it could be journaling, there's a exercise, there could be a lot of different ways, and every way is different for each person. And that's where you just kind of have to test some things out, get to know your body, and figure out what is actually going to be most effective to help you find that state of balance.
And another big one, especially kind of not, I was just going to say, especially around the holiday season, but truthfully, year round, is the hydration factor. There's a study that came out not too long ago that hasn't been getting the publicity that I would have thought it would have, finding a direct correlation or inverse correlation between one's hydration status and cortisol levels. The more hydrated you are, so the more water you're drinking, the better off you are, the lower your cortisol is going to be. The more dehydrated you are, the higher the cortisol is because the body is internally in a stress state. And so it's going to respond with cortisol. But the cortisol we typically just relate to the lifestyle stressors, getting the kids to and from school, navigating the kids' schedule now that they're not in school and everything like that. But hydration plays a big role. And already, most of us are not consuming the amount of liquid and water that we should on a regular basis. And so, in these scenarios, it again is going to be augmented. We're going to be a little bit more dehydrated because we're getting distracted with other things, or the fluid that we're taking in may be something other than water, to each their own, partake in what you enjoy. But we want to make sure that we're staying hydrated to control what we can control with all of those things.
And in addition, I think with hydration to cortisol being, the buzzword, everyone knows about cortisol and how that affects stress, but being dehydrated also affects your soft tissues. So from the chiropractic perspective, it is going to make your muscles tighter. It is going to make your ligaments more brittle. And so we're not all outside playing, football on on Thanksgiving. We're not playing back football. Some of
Hey,
us
you've
might
seen the
be,
Friends
but
episodes? Absolutely. Those
yes,
Thanksgiving football games are legit.
right. I mean, that's what I was pulling from. But just like in our day to day, I'm sitting at my desk trying to get some work done before I'm taking a few days off for the holiday. I'm driving to go visit family, whether it's down the street or hours away. You're doing some physical tasks that generally are different than what you're used to. But even if it's not this time of year, if you are dehydrated, it's still affecting your tissues. And what I often tell people is when stress is high, the weakest link in our body is going to kind of give out. And it reminds me back in the 1990s, that game show, you are the weakest link,
I got
that show.
nothing.
Um, it's a game show. I was a big game show kid, game show TV person as a kid. So, it lives on. But anyways, when you're exposed to stress physically, your body is at some points going to be like, I can't compensate and keep up with this anymore. And your weakest link is going to kind of recreate these patterns. And so everyone would typically say, I have an area that will bother me here from here, so on and so forth. So for me, it's my low back. My low back bothers me when I am more stressed out. Jay tends to get headaches when he is more stressed out. And so everyone has these spots. And if we are doing the things that we need to do to take care of ourselves, we often can keep these symptoms at bay because our body is able to keep up with it. It's able to adapt. But the moment our stress threshold is reached, that bucket kind of fills up and it starts overflowing. The brain's like, I just can't keep up with all of this stuff you're asking me to do. Something's got to give. And what's going to give is the weakest link. And so low backs, hips, shoulders, headaches, we start to see those physical things pop up more often. And it's also affected by being dehydrated, being underfueled. Those sorts of things are just going to make those symptoms worse because they're adding to that layer of stress beyond the mental stress that comes with this time of year.
Yeah. And the biggest thing is, again, just controlling what you can control. Stress is always going to be present. The goal and the idea of completely eliminating stress from your life isn't realistic for anyone because, to an extent, stress is good. Stress is okay. Whether it be at home in the life or at work, stress a lot of times means you care about whatever it is. So if you're stressed at work, you care about whatever it is that's going on. If you're stressed at home, you care about the situation. Like if your kid is screaming in the back, You're stressed because you care about them and you want them not to be screaming. So it's not completely eliminating it, but it's helping to make sure you control what you control to allow your body to manage it as optimally and to process it as optimally. And so the other thing too that I would always encourage is just try to do your best to maintain a consistent sleep schedule as well. It's when you're sleeping that your body is going to be able to reset and recalibrate everything to be able to process and manage any additional stressors that get thrown at it. When we do cut our sleep short, we get a little bit more reactive to things. The body's not going to be able to manage and navigate those stressors in life as well. Kids are always going to be a prime example because they're just going to tell you and show you exactly what it is that's going on internally within them without any barriers. If you have a kid and they didn't get the quality of sleep that they needed at night, or they got a nap that got cut short, they're going to let you know in one way, shape, or form. You're going to be like, something's wrong. You're freaking out about nothing. Like, heaven forbid the water bottle fell and they're out of Wawa. They're going to let you know. We as adults sometimes do a better job of trying to like bury that in deep, but we have the same response that's going on physiologically internally. So the sleep is going to be another big component to be able to help with all of that as well.
Yeah, and I think you even like alluded to this a little bit. I saw something here. I this is something you all should know about me. I'm a big headline reader. I firmly believe in
Yes,
research, but
absolutely.
a I'm a big headline reader. And so this is not a quote because I don't remember it exactly, but I read something on Instagram, which is not a reliable source for health information, but it was talking about like how people who like live to be, 99, 100, like live a long time, like what is some like a common pattern that these people have. And it was talking about how it doesn't, these people aren't people who eliminated stress from their life, but they kind of learned to adapt to it, manage it, and have the mindset skills to like live presently and know how to actually adapt to the stressors that they were facing. And I thought that that was really, really a useful insight because, kind of as Jay said, we're not getting rid of stress. And so I think for me, this is kind of like the third thing that is really important when our body is faced with stress is it has to do with our mindset. Like so many people will start to experience these symptoms and they're like, that's it, my body's breaking again. Like I just can't keep up with my kids. There's something horribly wrong with me. And they just go down this really deep tunnel of like, things are bad. But in reality, all these symptoms are is your body just communicating to you that there is an imbalance of how much stress you're experiencing and how well your body can keep up with it. And in terms of keeping up with the like controlling that you can control, sometimes we just cannot control the amount of stress our body is facing. There are seasons where stress is just going to be high, but doing what we can to improve and amplify how your body can keep up with it, that is controllable and that is controllable to you. And so that is where the mindset piece comes in of not getting down on yourself if you start experiencing these things. Like, yes, does it suck if you bend down to get the turkey out of the oven, your back is out? Yes, I acknowledge that, and that is terrible, and I'm so, so sorry. But it is just your body giving you some insight. And so I would and really encourage you to try and, rather than getting upset with yourself and down on yourself, view those symptoms more as information and ask yourself, okay, where can I dig a little bit deeper? Where can I improve what I'm doing? How can I amplify my own body's stress response so that we can not have these things and have our body be more supportive and thriving rather than kind of always fighting the uphill battle of just trying to put the fires out?
Yeah, the body is always trying to talk to us and tell us what's going on. We usually just do a very poor job of being able to understand it. So, like,
Selective listening, if you
yeah,
will.
I would say if body language was a thing on Duolingo, it'd be the number one downloaded thing, or at least it should be, to be able to understand what the heck the body's trying to talk to us and say. So, with all that, Nicole, I'm going to put you on the spot. What's your go-to
Ready?
preferred way to be able to help manage stress?
Get adjusted.
I should have
I have an
known, seen that
adjustment
coming.
coming up at 1:30 today, and I
Ooh.
can't wait. I will say too, I have just like on a personal note, I have been burning the candle at both ends. I have been doing exactly the opposite of what I have been telling you to do here. Jay's laughing because we just had a really long family meeting about this the other day, in that if this is just kind of proof in the pudding to show you that like even the people who talk about this and teach us all day long, we're not perfect. There are seasons where things shift and we're not doing as good of a job of taking care of ourselves. And For example, for me, I've been drinking more coffee than I have in a really long time. Our breastfeeding journey ended a month and a half ago or so. And the whole time I was breastfeeding and pregnant, I was like, I'm only having 1 cup of coffee a day because that is the amount that I can give to my son. And that is what is safe. And I was so diligent about that. The day I was done breastfeeding, I was like, 2 cups, 3 cups, 4 cups, I could have all the coffee. That is where did that come from? I haven't had that much coffee in 2 years, but suddenly my coffee intake has gone up. My water intake has gone down. I'm skipping snacks because I'm working a ridiculous amount of hours right now, which if you own a business or you're in a space where there are deadlines, there are times where you work a little bit harder and there are times where you get to rest and reprieve a little bit. Right now, I'm in a work a little bit harder state, but that is taking away from my nutrition. It is taking away from my exercise and it's taking away from my sleep. And physically, I am feeling a lot more discomfort within my body. So all of these things that we kind of talked about today are things that I'm personally experiencing, which is part of what brought this call up of what should we talk about today, because this is probably the most common thing that I'm seeing in the treatment room right now, and it's affecting me personally. And so things that I'm working on is trying to go to bed before 11 o'clock, which feels like maybe a small thing, but it is still 2 hours earlier than I've been going to bed the last 2 to 3 weeks. I'm also really trying to focus on my water and being really consistent with getting adjusted. And those are things that I can control. Is it perfect? No, but it is at least a step in the right direction. And that it's kind of the mindset piece that I have to continue to wrap my head around of I'm doing the best that I can right now. And that is a step in the right direction.
Yeah, no one's going to be able to do all of the things for it. And it's making sure, going back to the mindset piece, it's not an all or nothing mentality that you should have about all of this. Because also, too, there's a million different things that you can do to be able to help manage it. But doing every single one of those is not going to be feasible every single time. So it's finding what works best for you to be able to help manage some of that stress, bring that down a little bit, that fits your lifestyle and the time that you have and the flexibility to be able to pull it off. So, yeah, feel free to try some of the different things that we recommended. Hit us up. Let us know what's working for you, what's not working for you. We always love to hear different perspectives and how we can work together to be able to support each other and make sure we get through the lovely holidays with as many smiles and hugs and lovely memories as we can.
Yeah, absolutely. Let us know if you have questions or if you need help figuring things out. But I hope this was helpful and you learned a thing or two about how to help manage stress in your body.
Absolutely. Happy holidays, everybody.
Yes.